When 67-year-old Michael reviewed his bank statements at my request, he was shocked by what he discovered. "I'm spending over $6,000 a year on things I don't even use or need," he admitted. "At this rate, I'll outlive my savings by age 79. Michael isn't alone. According to research from the Employee Benefit Research Institute, 41% of U.S. households headed by someone aged 60-70 are at risk of running out of money in retirement, often due to spending patterns established decades ago that no longer make sense. Today, I'm revealing the 5 most common financial drains undermining retirement security for people over 60. But before we jump back into the video, let us know where you're watching from. And if you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe, because tomorrow, I've got something really special for you. And now back to the video. These aren't the obvious expenses, they're the sneaky, emotional or habitual spending categories that slowly erode your nest egg without providing proportional value. By addressing these specific drains, you could potentially save thousands each year while actually improving your retirement lifestyle. Managing finances after 60 requires a fundamental shift in thinking. During working years, most people focus on accumulation, earning, saving, and growing their resources. But retirement demands a transition to preservation and allocation, making existing resources last and using them optimally. This shift is where many stumble, continuing spending patterns better suited to their earning years. What makes this topic particularly important is that financial missteps after 60 have amplified consequences. Unlike younger adults who have decades to recover from financial mistakes, retirees have limited options for replenishing depleted savings. Every dollar unnecessarily spent represents not just the dollar itself, but all the potential growth and future spending that dollar could have supported. The challenge is complicated by several factors unique to this life stage. First, many retirees receive conflicting advice from financial institutions that profit from managing their assets. Second, decades of consumer habits and identity-based spending can be difficult to reevaluate objectively. Third, emotional factors like generosity toward family, fear of missing out, or compensation for lost work identity often drive spending decisions rather than clear-eyed financial analysis. Most concerning, research from the Stanford Center on Longevity shows that financial decision-making abilities typically peak in our 50s and then gradually decline, even while confidence in those decisions remains high. This creates vulnerability, precisely when the stakes are highest. Today, I'll identify the 5 most consequential spending categories where retirees consistently waste money, explain why these specific expenses are problematic after 60, and provide practical alternatives that can maintain or even enhance your quality of life while preserving your financial security. For each category, I'll share specific dollar amounts of potential savings based on actual client experiences, giving you a concrete understanding of the impact these changes could have on your retirement longevity. Before we dive into these 5 financial drains, I want to highlight something important. The final money waster I'll discuss, number 5, is perhaps the most controversial. Many financial advisors never mention it because it conflicts with conventional wisdom about retirement spending. Yet, addressing this single category has helped some of my clients extend their retirement savings by 3 to 7 years without reducing their lifestyle satisfaction. Throughout this video, I'll also share a simple calculation tool that helps you determine your personal cost per use for various expenses, a technique that transforms how you evaluate spending decisions and eliminates waste while preserving what truly matters to you. Stay with me until the end, because I'll also reveal the surprising research on which categories of spending actually increase retirement satisfaction, allowing you to redirect saved money toward purchases that genuinely improve your quality of life, rather than just accumulating more savings. The first major money drain for many people over 60 is excessive insurance coverage. Policies that made sense during working years, but now represent significant overspending relative to your current needs and risks. Barbara, a 72-year-old retired teacher, was spending over $4,200 annually on insurance premiums for policies she'd maintained for decades. "I never reconsidered my coverage after retirement," she explained. "I was still paying for high-limit disability insurance I no longer needed. life insurance far beyond my current responsibilities, and excessive auto coverage despite driving 70% less than during my working years. After right-sizing her insurance portfolio, she immediately reduced her annual expenses by $2,700 while maintaining appropriate protection. Here's why this matters. Insurance needs change dramatically after 60, yet most people simply renew existing policies without re-evaluation. A study from the Insurance Information Institute found that 68% of retirees are significantly overinsured in at least one major category, collectively wasting billions on unnecessary coverage annually. The shift occurs across multiple insurance types. Life insurance needs typically decrease substantially once mortgages are paid and children are financially independent. Disability insurance becomes unnecessary once you're no longer dependent on employment income. Auto insurance can often be adjusted to reflect reduced mileage and changing driving patterns. Even homeowners insurance frequently contains unnecessary riders or outdated coverage limits. The impact of this insurance mismatch is substantial. Analysis from the Consumer Federation of America suggests that the average retiree household wastes between $1,800 and $2,500 annually on insurance that no longer aligns with their actual risks, money that could extend retirement savings by months or years. Ask yourself, when was the last time you comprehensively reviewed all your insurance coverage with your current needs in mind? Are you still paying for policies based on financial responsibilities you no longer have? Have you adjusted coverage limits to reflect your current lifestyle rather than your peak earning years? The most effective approach is conducting a complete insurance audit, ideally with an independent financial advisor who doesn't sell insurance products and therefore has no incentive to maintain unnecessary coverage. Specifically evaluate life insurance. Consider whether the original purpose, income replacement, mortgage protection, children's education, still exists. Auto insurance. Adjust for reduced mileage. Consider usage-based policies. And evaluate whether collision coverage still makes sense on older vehicles. Homeowners insurance. Update personal property schedules, review liability limits based on current assets, and consider consolidating policies for multi-policy discounts. Umbrella policies. Align with your current asset protection needs rather than peak earning vulnerability. As Barbara discovered, I was protecting against risks that no longer existed while missing coverage for risks I now face. Redirecting those premium dollars not only saved money, but actually improved my protection where it matters now. The second major financial drain after 60 is maintaining excess housing. Specifically, continuing to own and maintain a home that no longer fits your current lifestyle needs. James and Linda, both 69, owned a beautiful 2,800 square foot home where they'd raised their family. We were emotionally attached to the house, James explained, but we were using less than half the space while paying to heat, cool, and maintain all of it. Between property taxes, utilities, maintenance, and repairs, we were spending over $22,000 annually to maintain rooms we rarely entered. After downsizing to a 1,400 square foot townhome, they reduced these expenses to $8,700 annually, while eliminating stairs and yard work that had become physically challenging. Here's why this matters. Housing typically represents 30 to 40% of retirees' budgets, making it the largest expense category and therefore the most impactful area for potential savings. Yet according to the Joint Center for Housing Studies at Harvard University, more than 65% of retirees live in homes with more bedrooms than residents, effectively paying for space that provides little utility. The financial impact extends beyond obvious costs. A larger home requires more furniture, more cleaning, more maintenance, higher insurance premiums, and often higher utility costs. Additionally, equity tied up in housing is a illiquid asset that could otherwise be generating income in retirement. The combined effect is what financial planners call being house rich but cash poor, having wealth that doesn't support your actual quality of life. Most significantly, housing costs tend to be relatively fixed and inflexible during financial challenges, unlike discretionary expenses that can be more easily adjusted. This inflexibility creates vulnerability during market downturns or unexpected expenses, often forcing difficult financial decisions at the worst possible times. Ask yourself, how much of your home do you actively use daily? What percentage of your retirement income goes toward maintaining your current home? Have you calculated the true cost of your housing, including maintenance, utilities, taxes, insurance, and opportunity cost of tied-up equity? The most effective approach isn't necessarily downsizing, though that's often beneficial, but right-sizing, ensuring your housing aligns with both your current lifestyle needs and financial situation. Options include downsizing to a smaller, more efficient home that requires less maintenance, relocating to a lower-cost area where housing expenses consume a smaller percentage of your income, considering maintenance-included communities where unpredictable housing expenses become predictable monthly fees, exploring options like home sharing or accessory dwelling units that can generate income from excess space. As James and Linda discovered, we thought we'd miss the extra space, but what we actually experienced was relief. We have more money available for travel and activities we enjoy, and we no longer dread the constant maintenance. Our actual living space, the rooms we use daily, is more comfortable and updated than before. The third significant money drain for many retirees is purchasing brand new vehicles, perhaps the single most rapid depreciation expense in most retirement budgets. Robert, a 65-year-old who prided himself on always driving new cars, was shocked when we calculated the true cost of this habit. I was spending an average of $4,600 annually on depreciation alone, essentially paying to drive a new car that would soon become a used car anyway. That doesn't even count the higher insurance premiums and registration fees. After switching to purchasing 2-year-old certified pre-owned vehicles, Robert maintained the reliability and features he valued while reducing his annual transportation costs by over $3,200. Here's why this matters. Transportation represents the second largest expense category for most retirees, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Yet it's also where emotional decision-making often overrides financial logic, particularly around vehicle purchases. The status and satisfaction of driving a new vehicle typically diminish within months, while the financial impact continues for years. The numbers are striking. A typical new vehicle loses 20 to 30% of its value in the first year and approximately 60% by year 5. For a $35,000 vehicle, that's $7,000, $10,500 in first-year depreciation alone. Money that provides no functional benefit over a slightly used vehicle with the same features and comparable reliability. This rapid depreciation becomes particularly problematic in retirement for 2 reasons. First, fixed-income retirees have fewer opportunities to recover from large discretionary expenditures. Second, most retirees drive significantly fewer miles than working adults, meaning they're paying premium prices for vehicles that sit unused much of the time. Ask yourself, how many miles do you actually drive annually since retiring? What percentage of your vehicle's purchase price is lost to depreciation each year? Have you calculated the true cost per mile driven, including depreciation, insurance, maintenance, and financing? The most effective strategy isn't necessarily buying the cheapest vehicle possible, but rather optimizing the depreciation curve. Consider these approaches. Purchasing vehicles that are 2 to 3 years old after the steepest depreciation has already occurred. Keeping vehicles longer during retirement when annual mileage is typically lower. Considering 1 well-maintained vehicle rather than 2 if your household driving patterns allow it. Evaluating whether premium features you rarely use justify their additional cost for retirees in urban areas. Increasingly attractive alternatives include car-sharing services, transportation included, retirement communities, or ride-sharing options that eliminate vehicle ownership costs entirely. As Robert discovered, I still drive an excellent vehicle, with all the features and reliability I want. The only difference is, I'm now keeping $3,200 annually in my retirement fund instead of watching it disappear through depreciation. Over a 20-year retirement, that's $64,000 preserved just by making a smarter transportation choice. The fourth major financial drain for many retirees is misplaced generosity. Financial gifts or support provided to family members that undermine the giver's security without creating sustainable benefit for the recipient. Eleanor, a 74-year-old widow, was regularly providing financial assistance to her adult grandson despite her limited retirement income. "I was giving him about $500 monthly for various emergencies and expenses," she explained. "It was straining my budget significantly, and I was dipping into principal to maintain these gifts. What I didn't realize was that I was actually enabling financial dependence rather than helping him develop stability." After transitioning to more strategic support, offering to match his retirement contributions and helping with educational expenses, Eleanor reduced her outflow by $4,200 annually while providing more meaningful long-term assistance. Here's why this matters. The desire to help family members is natural and commendable. However, research from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau shows that financial gifts from retirees to family members often follow problematic patterns. They tend to increase over time, they frequently address recurring rather than one-time needs, and they're rarely incorporated into formal financial planning. The impact can be severe on both sides of the equation. For the retiree, unplanned ongoing financial support can significantly accelerate the depletion of retirement savings. For recipients, particularly younger family members, this support can inadvertently discourage financial independence and reduce motivation to address underlying financial management issues. Most troublingly, these patterns often continue until the retiree's resources are seriously compromised, at which point the support must stop abruptly, creating crisis for the recipient and guilt for the giver. This scenario represents the worst possible outcome for all involved. Ask yourself, are you providing financial support that exceeds what you can sustainably afford based on your retirement resources? Has what started as temporary assistance evolved into ongoing support? Are your gifts addressing symptoms rather than helping resolve underlying financial issues? The most effective approach balances generosity with boundaries. Consider these strategies. Calculate what you can sustainably give without endangering your own security, and communicate these limits clearly. Direct support toward capacity-building expenses, education, training, healthcare, rather than lifestyle maintenance. Consider structured giving through 529 education plans or matching programs that incentivize positive financial behaviors. Explore non-financial support like childcare, skills mentoring, or networking that leverages your experience rather than depleting your savings. As Eleanor eventually realized, true generosity includes being thoughtful about the impact of my giving, not just the intention behind it. I needed to help in ways that built capability rather than dependency. Now I'm secure, my grandson is developing better financial habits, and our relationship is actually healthier without the financial tension. The fifth and most controversial money drain for many retirees is excessive professional services, continuing to pay for premium-level services that were necessary during working years but now represent significant overspending relative to actual needs. William, a 70-year-old retired executive, maintained the same suite of professional services he'd used throughout his career. "I was paying over $7,800 annually for financial management, accounting, legal services, and various subscriptions that I'd used for decades," he explained. "It took a comprehensive review to realize how much of this was habitual rather than necessary." After right-sizing these services to match his now simpler financial situation, William reduced these expenses by $5,100 annually while maintaining the support he actually needed. Here's why this matters. During peak earning and wealth building, years' comprehensive professional services often provide value that justifies their cost. However, many retirees continue these relationships through inertia rather than conscious evaluation, paying for complex services their simplified financial lives no longer require. Financial management fees represent the largest category of potential overservice. Many retirees pay 1 to 1.5% of assets under management annually for investment services better suited to wealth accumulation than the preservation and income needs of retirement. For a $500,000 portfolio, this represents $5,750 annually, often for services with questionable value in a simpler retirement portfolio. Similar patterns appear with accounting services, continuing to use CPA firms for tax returns that have become significantly less complex. Legal services, maintaining expensive attorney relationships for occasional basic needs, and various subscriptions and memberships that once served professional purposes but now provide minimal utility. Ask yourself, have you evaluated whether your current professional services align with your actual retirement needs? Are you paying percentage-based fees for financial management when you now need primarily maintenance rather than growth strategies? Are you maintaining premium services through habit rather than necessity? The most effective approach isn't eliminating professional support entirely, but rather right-sizing services to match current needs. Consider fee-only financial planners who charge by service rather than percentage of assets for occasional guidance. Explore tax preparation services appropriately scaled to your now simpler tax situation. Use legal document services with attorney review for basic needs, reserving full attorney services for complex matters. Audit all subscriptions and memberships, eliminating those that no longer provide meaningful value. This right-sizing approach preserves necessary support while eliminating excessive fees for unused capacity or unnecessary complexity. As William discovered, I was paying premier prices out of habit and perhaps vanity. When I analyzed what services I actually needed and valued in retirement, I found much more cost-effective options that preserved the essential support while eliminating the substantial waste. The services I now use are actually more appropriate for my current situation, as we've explored these 5 major money drains: excessive insurance coverage, maintaining too much home, purchasing brand new vehicles, misplaced generosity, and excessive professional services. A common theme emerges. Many of our spending patterns are established during working years and continue through inertia, rather than intentional decision-making aligned with our current retirement realities. The financial impact of addressing these specific categories can be transformative. Based on the examples we've discussed, the potential annual savings range from $15,000 to $28,000, money that can significantly extend the lifespan of your retirement savings or enhance your lifestyle in areas that bring genuine satisfaction. What makes these adjustments particularly powerful is that they primarily eliminate waste rather than reducing actual quality of life. In fact, many retirees report increased satisfaction after making these changes. Less maintenance stress from right-sized housing, reduced financial worry from appropriate insurance coverage, and more resources available for experiences and activities they truly value. Remember that financial security in retirement isn't just about having enough savings, it's about allocating those resources optimally to support your well-being and priorities. Every dollar wasted on habitual spending that no longer serves you is a dollar unavailable for enhancing your retirement experience. The good news is that recognizing these common drains provides an opportunity to redirect resources in ways that better support the retirement lifestyle you've worked so hard to achieve. If you found value in identifying these financial drains, please take a moment to share this video with others who might benefit. Financial awareness is one of the greatest gifts we can share with those we care about. In the comments below, I'd love to hear if you've successfully eliminated any of these money drains from your own retirement budget, or if you've identified other areas where retirees commonly waste resources. Don't forget to download our free retirement spending optimization worksheet using the link in the description. This practical tool walks you through evaluating all your current expenses against your retirement priorities, helping you identify additional opportunities for eliminating waste. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for our upcoming video on the 3 categories where retirees should spend more, not less, the perfect companion to today's discussion about optimizing your retirement resources. Thank you for taking this important step toward financial efficiency in retirement. Remember, it's never too late to align your spending with what truly matters at this stage of life.